Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a technical analysis video on Vechain's VET token. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button, guys. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why don't you go ahead and subscribe and stay up to date with all the content that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, let's jump right down into this one. So here we have Vechain's VET token paired up with USDT on the one-day Binance chart. Following on from the previous Vechain videos that we've been doing here on the channel, we can see that we did come down into the expected range between 2.226 and 2.473. This was the range where we were expecting a reversal. Now, if we zoom in on this just a little bit further, you can see that we had a bit of a double bottom situation. The first one being on the 18th of June with a low of 2.381, and then again on the 24th of June with a low of 2.381. This double bottom situation is pretty bullish in my opinion, as a double bottom usually means a bit of a reversal in the market. So this particular range between the 2.226 and the 2.473 is the area of demand, okay? This is an area where we see a lot of buying activity occurring. Now, we've started to see a little bit of a move to the upside on Vechain over the last 24 hours or so, coming in at around 10.54%. Following on from the previous videos, we were talking about a 25 to 30% move, so we're only really in the early stages of this move, in my opinion. We are going to be still looking for a bit more of a bearish move for Vechain, in my opinion, so we want to be aware that things here might be a little bit difficult for the kind of the medium term. The 50 EMA and the 50 SMA, so the blue line being the 50 EMA, the yellow line being the 50 SMA, are the main points of resistance at the moment, obviously after we saw the death cross on the 15th of June. Now, currently, the 50 EMA sits at 3.139 and the 50 SMA sits at 3.250. The 200-day EMA, the white line that's coming through the chart, is at 3.381 and, of course, is the other major area of resistance for Vechain. If I zoom out of this just a little bit further so you can see the kind of context of what I'm talking about here, this looks like a pretty bearish move. Some people who do not fully understand Elliott wave theory will be telling you that this looks like a five-wave impulsive move to the downside. I'm here to tell you that it's not that bad. This is actually a W, X, Y, X, and a potential Z. Okay, so we are still looking for further slippage to the downside, hence where we currently sit here with this range between 1.560 and 2.698. This is going to be the range that we look for Vechain to come down to over a larger period of time, several months down the line. But this is where we're going to find the best value, in my opinion. As long as we are lower than 2.698, to me, it seems like a great place to be dollar cost averaging. If you're looking to take advantage of trading opportunities, I probably would have looked at the wicks that we had yesterday on the 24th of June being the better entries. We wouldn't want to go long right now, not without first seeing a little bit more of a correction, potentially coming back and down and slipping into that range between 0.0226 and 0.2473. If we do slip back down into there, then we potentially do have the ability to look at the market through a long lens, where we will then put a nice tight stop loss lower than the previous swing lows and target out those resistances on the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, or maybe the 200-day EMA. We are looking for a retracement into this yellow box area. Okay, this is going to be our typical kind of X-wave movement that we're trying to target. It is obviously quite broad here. So yeah, we're kind of retracing quite nicely. We'll have the ability to move up quite a bit towards 3.1 cent, but I don't think we're going to push that high, in my opinion. Once complete though, we'll still be looking for a further move to the downside. It will be pretty brutal into that final Z-wave movement. This will complete a W, X, Y, X, and Z pattern, which is basically a triple zigzag. It's a corrective pattern where we'll then start to see a reversal in the market. So for Vechain here on the daily time frame, from an Elliott wave theory point of view, it's not actually that bad. Now, if we take a look at the smart money concepts, things are in bearish structures. This was kind of confirmed when we had that close position on the 24th. We have the change of characterization into a bearish structure rather than a bullish one. Obviously, there's lots of red up in this higher range of the chart here. This is indicating areas of selling pressure. So again, these are areas where we will find a lot of resistance. You can also see that we have equilibrium up here, higher than the 200-day EMA, higher than a 50 EMA, higher than a 50 SMA, essentially also an area of resistance. This happens to also fall in line with this previous area that we saw as support turned to resistance. Okay, so again, everything on Vechain at the moment is looking more bearishly on the daily time frame from the kind of ways of looking at the market through, Elliott wave theory, smart money concepts, EMAs, SMAs, not looking the best. But, as everything goes down quite aggressively, the way that it has done, the entire crypto market, it can't go this way forever. At some point, you do find reversals, and the chart isn't going to tell you that from these indicators. The indicators that you use, such as smart money concepts, EMAs, whatever it may be, Bollinger Bands, they're all laggy indicators. They only tell you what's already happened, not going to tell you what's going to happen. Elliott wave theory tells us that we are to expect a bounce to the upside followed by one last retracement to the downside. So still expect volatility here, but we are being predictive in the idea that things are going to pick up at some point down the line, even though a lot of this laggy indicators are not going to tell you this up front. Now, if we bring up our stochastic RSIs, this also shows you the idea that we're going to be seeing a lot more volatility for Vechain. We can see that we're overbought on the daily, the 4-hourly, 8-hour charts. Okay, so we are going to be looking for momentum to shift down. We're going to see further drops to the downside. The daily stochastic RSI has moved up quite aggressively already. Again, you can see historically we've come up to these kind of areas before and reduced the momentum shift and turned around. Okay, so we are going to be looking for further moves to the downside on Vechain in that kind of next few weeks or so. I think we're going to see more pushes to the downside. Okay, but I am still looking for that relief rally. We've moved up 10%. It's a pretty decent move, but I'm still expecting us to go down and move back up and see a bit more of an overlapping structure with higher highs, higher lows on the Vechain chart till we hit those resistances. Okay, hitting those resistances will then put us into another bearish place where we do see further slippage to the downside into that final Z wave. You can also see here that the relative strength index is also showing us with some areas here where we bounced up a little bit, but again, we're still in bearish territory even on the relative strength index. Volume profiles, you can see volumes have spiked up most recently during this last little moment of volatility. Let me bring up the price chart here. You can see as price was coming down, volumes picked up a little bit. But overall, during this entire correction, we have seen volumes decreasing as prices pushed down. So it does show that there's a lack of appetite for selling into these lows at the moment. So that's always a positive for Vechain's VET token, in my opinion. Okay, so taking a look at these things, we can see that actually they're pretty bearish. Okay, we still have further slippage to the downside. Great opportunities for building out and dollar cost averaging into those positions, though, in my opinion. But obviously, we are to be expecting more volatility and more bearishness to come over the next few months. All of this, though, is short term with an idea that longer term we are in a bullish market. You can see that this retracement that I have marked out between a low of 1.560 to 2.698 is just a typical retracement before we actually get into that next leg to the upside. And as I've marked up previously, we can see the minimum expectations here will be the 9.9 to 13.9 cent area. And I think that's only going to be dwarfed by the fact that we are more than likely, in my opinion, to go into an impulsive breakout situation as those altcoins really get a run to them. I expect us to see Vechain here actually rally on up more towards the 1.618 Fibonacci level. It's assumed that we do hit that low of 1.5 cent, which will be incredibly bearish. It will put us at a 15.896, 1.618 area for an impulsive breakout. Obviously, if we do not go down as low as this, let's hypothetically say we find support at around 2.035, that 1.618 will be 20.5 cents. But nonetheless, I do think this is likely to be the case where we do find upper resistance in these higher areas and we do find reversals in the market for a wave 4 before finally pushing up into a wave 5. Okay, so I do think that the 5-wave move that we have at the moment could be a wave 1. This retracement that we're in right now is in typical wave 2 territory. We then have a fantastic break above the 20 cent area for a wave 3, retracement for a wave 4, and then finally new all-time highs for that final 5th wave move. Okay, so Vechain's price action is looking quite nice in my opinion. We're mapping out pretty impulsive movements, and as part of these impulsive movements you have two major corrections: the wave 2, which is the one that I think we're in right now with the W, X, Y, X and Z pattern, and the wave 4, which will be another corrective action after we complete a very impulsive wave 3. So all in all, I don't mind where Vechain is right now. It gives us huge opportunity to build out those positions and to build better positions, and basically build out our positions in Vechain for that next big run to the upside. Guys, you can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. Are you accumulating? Yes or no? And if you have found today's video useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And if you haven't done so yet, check out this video right here and stay well up to date with everything else that's going on in the crypto space.